So we just got a balance patch. A lot of people are excited about TOMOE, the Fire Onmyouji, and all of the potential that she has with her skill 2 Karma, giving herself an extra 100% attack gauge after that, and then her skill 3 new buff, which will replicate the debuffs of one enemy onto the rest of the enemy teams, and all of the options that it opens up. And I've been looking at, I already took a look at a bunch of her matches. I've been looking at them, and I've been seeing how people are playing her. I think that some people, I mean, she just got buffed. She just got changed, right? We just got the balance patch. So people still getting acclimated to her. People still like, okay, what do I want to, how do I want to use her? What team do I want to use her with? One of the biggest things that I've noticed so far is, for example, people using her with bomb units, people using her with Oblivion units. So you're basically taking TOMOE and Tsarion and bringing those two units that require 2 slots to take up the same space as something like an Isis, which takes 1 slot. And people already complain. I don't know why people complain about Isis. I think she's a fantastic unit, but people still complain about Isis. So it's taking basically what Isis does and requiring 2 slots to do that same thing as far as Oblivion. Then we have the bombs, like, oh, well, she can replicate the Ciara bombs onto a full team. Let's just start the next, but let's just see more matches. So we started to talk about how she requires some other unit still to combo with her. Yes, she can still do an AoE Karma, but sometimes people can just play around that. They don't have to, or they could just cleanse it off, or they could just, I've noticed this, they're bringing some, hey, there we go, and now she can't get anything on there. I have noticed that they're taking the Tetra into her as well. So this is one situation that didn't work out too well. Let's see some more. So as I started to mention, she can combo and give your opponent's team AoE Oblivion, AoE bombs. However, there is already a unit that does AoE Oblivion. Most people don't have her. However, she still takes 2 slots to do that AoE Oblivion. So then you need still strips, which take another slot, and then still something to come in after the AoE Oblivion. People are already countering her with Tetra, which is strong against her. And then there's 2 slots, which Tetra is 1 slot that counters, right? Then you have the bombs. She can combo with Ciara, so you can have an AoE bomb there. So we do have the suppression here, AoE suppression on everyone, which is kind of nice, right? That is kind of nice. But if we think about her comboing some bombs, there are units that just put bombs on everything already. So there is that. And I've noticed people using her with Ciara, with Gianna, with some of the other, we'll see some more matches, but I've seen people using her with Ciara, with Gianna, with the other Onmyujis, and things of that nature. As I was mentioning, people are already comboing her with Ciara, with Gianna, with Tsarion, Hearn, Shizuka, things of that nature. However, again, her win rate is low, and it requires 2 units to be in that spot. This is just from my observations. Also, people are bringing her in with AoE debuffers, things that already have the AoE debuffs, and some AoE debuffs you can replicate, but some AoE debuffs, like if you have a defense break on the entire opponent's team, right? If you have her with Savannah, you have the defense break on the entire opponent's team. She gets her yin-yang bounded circle. The opponent still has an AoE defense break. You know what I mean? So she has less value in certain situations. She has, in theory, really good value with Oblivion units. Just from all of these matches that I've been taking a look at so far, it's just there is that concept of value. I don't know if you guys play like, oh, man, let's see some more matches. As I was saying, there is still that concept of value. As I've mentioned already before, if you have to bring 2 units, you get countered by 1 unit being like a cleanser or a Tetra or something like that. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Clash Royale, if you play Clash Royale, or even Summoners Warlost Centuria. You know, playing Summoners. I'm sure there's people that played Summoners Warlost Centuria, but basically in those games, those card-based battler games, the idea behind them. So this one's actually a really nice spotlight of what she can do, what she has the potential of doing. All those bombs, all those debuffs, all those debuffs. This is actually a great showing right here. But in those games, basically, you want to try to counter as many of your opponent's cards with as little of your cards. Like if your opponent plays 2 things, you want to try to counter it with 1 thing. If your opponent plays 3 things, you want to try to counter it. You just want to keep getting an advantage over them. This way you have like a large value difference in a couple minutes into the match. So this kind of the situation with this, but it's nice to see her work so well right here. So we did get to see a nice match. We got to see a couple nice matches. I'm trying to not show you guys just like all the losses that she has. She does have some nice situations where she's got some crazy combos, especially with the Shizuka, especially with the Gianna. As I've mentioned, these are units that people are already pairing well with her. It's just a little bit harder than I think people realize. How many more times do you think I could talk about value and countering and what she's paired with in the same video? I don't know which matches that I'm including in this video, but I feel like I've mentioned it so many times that you guys are probably sick of it by now. I guess we'll see. So we've got the AoE defense break. So she's just gonna. Oh, I was gonna say she's just gonna copy the defense break on there. She's not gonna copy anything because Riley comes in and cleanses and heals and immunities everything. So that's what happens there. We get countered, right? I mean, on paper. I mean, we have actually seen her be effective, but on paper she looks cooler than she actually is. It's a little bit harder to actually use her in battles than it looks like in the violent in the battles, especially when Vertigo keeps revenge procking. So, yeah, immunity is kind of strong against her. So immunity, Tetra, and Riley's just everywhere, right? Riley's everywhere. Tetra is just a nice pick. So a match like this, I mean, they bring her in here, and I question, like, what exactly is she prolonging, though? I mean, she's prolonging some of the divas from, like, the Monkey and the Art Master, so she can do that. I just don't think that she's got crazy. I mean, she's got the suppression, okay. And then he gets the Blossom Painting, and then... Well, I don't know if that was the greatest showing, but I don't think it really matters that the Savannah dismounts or dies right now because Nana's just stacked like crazy. So, like, I don't think it was the craziest combination of her, and even if they were trying to get a crazy combination with her, it would have required a lot to actually pull off, which was kind of her problem before the balance patch, is she still required a lot of combo to actually pull off. So I know a lot of people are using her right now. We just got the balance patch, of course. They're trying her out. They want to see what she does. But I think ultimately over the course of the next couple days or the next couple weeks, they're going to come to the same conclusion. I mean, some people are still going to use her. She's definitely better than she was before. But I think a lot of people are going to come to the conclusion that she's just not as efficient as other units that they could use in that spot. She needs more combo, but she needs more stuff to combo with, which unless you have some, I mean, there's some crazy LD5s and things that you can combo with her for sure. I mean, there's even things that are not crazy LD5s. I just feel that she's lacks slot efficiency, and she also does not have a very high overall win rate because of that, because of the lacking slot efficiency. So this is RTA is kind of a thing where so many people in high level try to work so hard to get these little bits of efficiency here and there in their runes and their grinds and their artifacts. So taking a unit that lacks efficiency by herself and lacks flexibility is people are going to use her that just want to use her and want to play with her and have some crazy things to combo with her. But ultimately, like, she's not going to be the highest win rate, the highest utility rate unit. So that's at least my feelings. But maybe I'm completely wrong and I'm completely off base. I do think that she has some combo potential. Also, I was thinking about for arena offense, it's like, oh, she could be like a budget Isis, right? She can be brought in with Tessarion. Tessarion can Oblivion something and then can spread it across the whole team. And then I'm like, okay, what would a team like that look like? Well, Tiana for the strips, because you need her to, you need a strip for that. Then you have Galleon, right? Tiana Galleon strip, attack buff, defense break, Oblivion, and then we have her to come in, and I'm like, oh, then there's no space for a damage dealer. Right, so Tiana Galleon Isis makes sense, and then you bring a damage dealer on top of that because you have the one slot for a big damage dealer. However, if you have two slots for Tessarion and TOMOE, then you don't have space for a big damage dealer. So I'm like, okay, maybe we can use her with Lucian. So like, okay, what would a team like that comprise of? I'm like, there's not a, like, we would need 5 slots. You could have a good Oblivion Lucian team, but you still need like 5 slots to make a solid team. So those are just the things that are going through my head when I'm thinking about her. And I took a look at a lot of matches before this too, and I just came to the same conclusion. Like, her win rate is actually pretty low. We saw some nice combos with her today, but just overall her win rate is low, and she needs too much. I already said the same thing 9,000 times in the video. You already know what I'm going to say. Anyway, that's for this one. We're going to take a look at the next unit now. I'll see you as always in the next one.